Ma'am Liwanag. How are you today? Are you ready for the new lesson? But before anything else, let's begin our day with a prayer. Dear God, thank you for looking after our school. Thank you that you love each other of us here. Help us to learn, play, and share together so that the wonderful world you have made becomes more beautiful every day. Amen. Now, let's move on to the other types of verb. We were going to discuss modal verbs or modals. So, at the end of the lesson, the student should be able to identify the functions of a modal in a sentence, give examples of sentences in modals, and produce own sentences with modals through the given activity. Before we proceed to discussion, let's have some motivation. This activity will test how knowledgeable you are in using modals. Okay, let's start the challenge. Number 1, you blank look at me when I am talking to you. A could, B should, C would. So, if your answer is should, you are right. Number 2, I was using my pencil a minute ago and think be here somewhere. A can, B could, C must, D would. What is your answer? So, if your answer is must, then you are right. Number 3, I blink be able to help you but I am not sure yet. A might, B would. If your answer is might, you are excellent. Last number, I am so hungry, I blink eat a horse. A can, B could, C must, D should. The correct answer is could. Perfect. Now let's move on to a proper discussion what is modal verbs or modals. Modal verb or modals is a type of verb that is used to indicate modality, that is likelihood, ability, formation or request, capacity, suggestion, order, obligation, or advice. There are the words that used in a sentence or you can found in a sentence that is used to show your ability into request or so on. There are many words that you should learn and here is Ma'am Kisto to discuss.
Hello everyone, my name is Ma'am Ria Siljoyce Kisto and these are the words that you use in a sentence or you can find in a sentence that is used to show your ability or to request or to order someone. For example, can, could, should, shall, will, might, ought to, and so on. Later on, you will know the following. First is using can in a sentence. When we use can, you are using it when you are expressing your ability. For example, I can dance, I can speak Korean, or I can do this. Next is when you are asking permission. For example, can I go to the bathroom? Can I use this ball pen? Can I go to the mall? And also expressing a probability. For example, it can be Mark, he is in London, or it can be you. You are the witness, right? Next is the modal could. We all know that could is the past tense of can. So in using could in a sentence, you can use it in a sentence when expressing your past ability or you're asking your past permission, probability, or request. For example, in possibility, he could speak French when he was 6 years old. Next is past permission, for example, is he could go to the theater or he could go to the mall. Next is probability, for example, it could get much hotter in July or it could get much colder in September. Next is when you are asking for a request, for example, I could lend you my notebook. The next modal is may. May is used also in probability and also asking a permission. For example, in probability, it may rain tomorrow. And in permission, for example, may I come in? May I go out? The next modal is might. Might is used when you are predicting something in the future. For example, it might have done damage inside or it might rain today. Next modal is must. Must is used in obligation or deduction or probability. For example, she must have lots of friends or this must be your sister or there must not be any rubbish left. Next is the modal shall. Shall is used when you are offering to something or suggestions. For example, in offering or volunteering, I shall take everything for you or I shall make the travel arrangements. And shall in suggesting, one shall explore the distant regions of the universe. Lastly is the modal would. Would is commonly used when you're asking or requesting or when you're inviting and making arrangement for someone. For example, I would like you to invite to our party. Now, let's talk about the following features in common in the use of modal. Number 1 is modal are always followed by the base form of verb. As well, all know modals are also verb, right? That's why we have a thing that we call base form of verbs. This is the main verb that we use also in a sentence. So take a look at the example. John will recite the monologue. As you can see, we have two verbs here, the will and the recite. Will is the modal and the recite is the base form of verb. To further discuss the other future common of models, here is Mom Laika de Guzman.
So, hello everyone. I'm Ma'am Laika de Guzman and I will continue the topic about the modal. So, the second is modals are the same for all pronouns. So, as you can see with the example, modals is the base of verb. So, example is we can play the instrument. So, and the next one is I must bring some books tomorrow. So, unlike in the first example, we can use the noun or the name of the person. But here we can also use the modals when we are pertaining to a pronoun. So the next is the number 3. Modals are not auxiliaries. They take direct or negative and question form. So what is actually the difference between the modals verb and the auxiliary verb? So all modals verbs are auxiliary verbs, but not all auxiliary verb is are modal verbs. So they can actually have differences usage through auxiliary verbs also uses can, may, will, shall, but in different situation. Also in modals verbs, overall, modal verbs are the auxiliary verb not express availability, necessity, request, permission, advice, desire, probability, and etc. So the modals are widely used both writing and speaking. All modals have a function such as the modals can. So can used to express the availability or ability. It can also use to repress some things. When it is pertaining to negativity, you can also add don't, such as don't have to or didn't have to. Now, let's see if you gain something or learn something today. So, I have prepared some activity. You can pause this video and get down your answer. The first is, my dad told me that I blank do my homework before bedtime. The second is, Linda told the taxi driver blank, you drop me at the next corner. The third is, Kevin blank, you give me my pen on the table, said Thomas. The fourth is, we blank listen to him. Are you done? Now, let's check your answer. You can check on your own output. And for the assignments, write a brief story of your choice. It can be about anything, person, places, or events. And circle all models on your own story. Okay, class, I will expecting your assignment on our next meeting. So thank you for listening. I hope you have learned about the models and God bless all.